Very good morning. Today I will be discussing an unseen poem to practice practical criticism. Today I have chosen a poem written by Indian English writer to understand Indian sensibilities. Let me read the poem. Title of the poem is Enterprise. It started as a pilgrimage, exalting minds and making all the burdens light. The second stage explored but did not test the call. The sun beat down to match our rage. We stood it very well, I thought, observed and put down copious notes on things the peasant sold and bought. The way of serpents and of goats, three cities where a stage had taught, but when the differences arose on how to cross a desert patch, we lost a friend whose stylish prose was quite the best of all our batch. A shadow falls on us and grows. Another phase was reached when we were twice attacked and lost our way. A section claimed its liberty to leave the group. I tried to pray. Our leader said he smelled the sea. We noticed nothing as we went. A straggling crowd of little hope, ignoring what the thunder meant, deprived of common needs like soap. Some were broken, some merely bent. When finally we reached the place, we hardly know why we were there. The trip had darkened every face. Our deeds were neither great nor rare. Home is where we have to gather grace. Let us look at the form of the poem. The poem consists six stanzas and each stanza has five lines. If we closely examine each line of the poem, we come to know that the poet has used iambic tetrameter. Iambic tetrameter consists 4 feet in each line and an unstressed syllable is followed by a stressed syllable. If we look at the rhyme scheme of the poem, the poet has used a kind of repetition. The rhyme scheme of the first line, the rhyme of the first line of the each stanza continues in the third and fifth line of the same stanza. The same pattern we can see throughout the poem. And if we closely examine the last stanza, the poet has used a different kind of metrical composition to tell us the change in the mind or change in the mood of the poet. In the final stanza, the poet has used trochaic pentameter. Trochaic pentameter is almost the opposite of the iambic pentameter. Trochaic pentameter, even trochaic pentameter consists 5 feet, but here the stress falls on the first syllable of the each feet. It means it means a stressed syllable is followed by an unstressed syllable in trochaic pentameter, whereas in iambic pentameter, an unstressed syllable is followed by a stressed syllable. That's the difference. Let's have a look at the literary devices the poet has used. The poet uses personification in the fifth line of the first stanza. Sun beat down to match our rage. Here, the poet attributing human qualities to the sun. Personification is a figure of speech where we attribute or give uh, characteristics of humans to non-human or to an abstract things. The poet uses metaphor in the line the way of serpents and of goats. Metaphor, as we know, we compare two different unlike things. Here, the poet comparing the way of the journey to the way of serpents and of goats. Let's have a look at the meaning of the poem. Here, the poet explains a pilgrimage or a journey. It started as a pilgrimage. The first line of the poem tells us that the poet is on a journey, but the journey is not actually a pilgrimage. It started as just like a pilgrimage. Initially, the journey was so good. It seems like it's lightening all the burden and all. The second stage, gradually, the journey started to test the uh, patience of the pilgrims, are the people who are on the journey. Sun beat down to match our rage. Sun started to beat them. We stood it very well, I thought. The speaker in the poem believes that they are all the people who are on journey, all are facing all the trouble and obstacles very uh, confidently, he thought. Observed and put down copious notes on things the peasants sold and bought. In order to keep them very busy, they started to write down started to note down the things peasants uh, sold and bought. Three cities where a sage had taught. They met a sage and they passed that three cities. And when the differences arose on how to cross a desert patch, we lost a friend whose stylish prose was quite the best of all our batch. Here, in this stanza, the speaker explains us that a difference of opinions began to arise in the group who are on the journey. Uh, when there is a desert patch, they have to cross that. Uh, they lost a friend because of differences, and a shadow compares the disappearance of their integrity. They don't have that integrity when the journey started. Another phase was reached when we were twice attacked and lost our way. Gradually differences increases and they lost their integrity among the batch or the group, and each other they began to attack each other. So the group lost their aim aspiration and they lost the goal when they are on a journey. A section claimed its liberty to leave the group. When the differences increases gradually, a section in the group claimed its liberty in order to leave the group. That section left the group. I tried to pray. Speaker seems very helpless, and he is just the speaker on the pump praying. Our leader said he smelled the sea. Smelled the sea refers that the leader assumed that they are very near to the goal. We noticed nothing as we went, but uh, the people followed the leader, but the assumption of the leader proved wrong because there was nothing. A straggling crowd of little hope, ignoring what the thunder meant, deprived of common needs like soap. The lines tells us that uh, the group has a very little hope. Gradually, even that little hope is they are losing, ignoring what the thunder meant, deprived of common needs like soap. Uh, the things they had packed when the journey started, gradually they are eh, running out of all the common needs like soap and all. Some were broken, some merely bent. All are very tired, all are very hopeless, and very they become very weak. When finally we reached the place, we hardly know why we were there. After going through all such hurdles and facing all the obstacles, finally they reached their place, the goal they reached. But they failed to realize, they failed to understand why they were there. They lost all the goals, aspirations, the things they have in their mind when the journey started. When they reached the goal, they lost all the things. They just forgot all the things, because they forgot all the things because of that hardships they had faced throughout the journey. The trip had darkened every face because of sun and all other obstacles, hardships. All the faces of the pilgrims turned dark. Our deeds were neither great nor rare. When they reached the goal, when they reached the aim, then they realized that they didn't achieve any rare goal, or they didn't achieve any very significant, they didn't understand any significance in their journey or the goal they reached. Home is where we have to gather grace. Finally, the speaker in the poem realizes that home is the place where people has to get console, people has to get grace, peace. The final line of the poem tells us that Indian sensibility of peace and solace. ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ ಆ, 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 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ವ, ಮನೆಯೇ ಮಂತ್ರಾಲಯ, ಮನೆಯೇ ದೇವಾಲಯ ಅಂತ. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲದನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ನ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇನ್ನರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಲಕ್ಸುರೀಸ್, ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕಂಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂತೋಷ ಸುಖ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂತೋಷ ಸುಖ ಯಾವುದೋ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಲ್ಲ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಸೊಲೇಸ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಹೋಮ್, ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಸೋಲ್. ದಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹುಡುಕಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ದೇವರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂತೋಷ ಸುಖಗಳನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹುಡುಕೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲುಕ್ ದ ವೇ ದ ಪೋಯಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಥ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಯಾತ್ರೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂಥ ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟು, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂಥ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಸ್ ದ ಜರ್ನಿ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಟು ಅ ಪಿಲ್ಗ್ರಿಮೇಜ್. ನಾವೇನು ಜರ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಜೀವನದ ಒಂದು ಯಾತ್ರೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಪಿಲ್ಗ್ರಿಮೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಹೋದರೆ, ಇರುವುದೆಲ್ಲವ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇರೋದುದರೆಡೆಗೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಿ ಲೂಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ವಿ ಲೂಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಹೋಪ್, ವಿ ಲೂಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕೌಂಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಲುಪಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ಚಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ಸೆಲ್ಸ್, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹುಡ್ಕೋಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಪೋಯಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದ ಫೈನಲ್ conclusion of the poem is that we have to search our peace, solace, whatever we want, we have to search that in ourselves instead of searching outside anta. Dear students, read poem again and again. You may come out with different meanings, insights from the poem. Keep reading. Thank you.